Okay, an attempt to try to maybe give a little bit of context of what I'm trying to do here. I've drawn a diagram. I'm not the best artist in the world, so please bear with me. But basically what I've got is on the left side here, this is York Yard, and we're looking at a cross section. Obviously the yard tracks are going away to, in this direction. So when you're coming from York Yard, you can go through a switch that will send you through the wall. You go through the wall underneath the stairs. This is the crawl space under the stairs. Go through this, you come out through this wall, and on this side is York Station. The station is here. There's a PRR interchange. I have a dwarf signal on either side. I've got a dwarf signal here that's it's green over yellow. Green means that the turnout, which is right here, and this is my problem because the turnout is right in the wall, which was brilliant on my behalf. And then I have the servo. This represents the servo that's mounted right here on that bracket that I made in a previous episode. When it's thrown to go straight, then you have the green here and the red here to indicate that you can't come out of the station track. And then when you throw it the other way, then this one goes yellow to indicate if you're going this way, you're set to go into the station. On this side, it'll turn green, indicating that it's clear to come out. So I've got the push buttons here, one push button here, one push button here. These are wired in parallel. One side is, are tied to ground, and the other side of the switch is tied to the input pin of the Arduino that's looking for the push buttons. I'm going to mount the Arduino here somewhere underneath in the area underneath the stairs. I'm going to mount it, and I'm going to run wires from the connectors on the Arduino to a 4-position terminal block. Each dwarf signal has 2 LEDs, obviously, and they're controlled separately. If you throw the turnout one way, the Arduino will turn pin 7 high and pin 8 low. When pin 7 is high, it comes here, it turns on the green LED on the York side, and it turns on the bottom LED, which is the red LED, on the station side, indicating that the turnout is thrown straight through and not for the station. Then when you push one of the push buttons, turnout throws the other way, and now 8 goes high, which over here 8 goes high, meaning that the yellow LED comes on, indicating a diverging route, and over here 8 comes on and turns on the green LED, indicating you're clear to exit the station. So all of those 4 lines, ground, pin 7, pin 8, and the T, which indicates the push buttons of the turnout throw, are going to go to this 4-position block, and then I'm going to route wires out to each of these from there. And so hopefully that'll make the wiring a little cleaner and easier to maintain. Hopefully that didn't just make you more confused with what I'm trying to do, but I just want to throw up a quick diagram to explain what I'm doing and where I'm putting things. So let's get to it. Okay, here we go. Got the first one I did here, and then here's the second one after I hit it with some flat black paint and shrunk the tubing down. So these are ready for an install. Now let me show you, if I can find it, the new Arduino board that I made. Okay, those of you who saw the previous episode will remember that this is how I built the prototype using an Arduino Uno breadboard. I got a couple of push buttons on here, the LEDs emulating the dwarf signal, and then there's 3 wires here that went to a servo, and the servo here. And these servos, I bought these on Amazon, super cheap. These are called Tower Pro Micro Servo 99 SG90s. Anyway, so this was the prototype. Now, for the final actual build and installation, I decided to go with the Arduino Nano. The Nano is basically the same thing as an Uno, just in a smaller form factor. So in this case, you can see, obviously this is the Nano board itself. The servo, I put 3 header pins on here, so the servo just plugs in like this. Alright, power comes in here, anywhere, 7 to 12 volts. Here you have, this is where the push buttons connect in to throw the turnout. This is for the LEDs, pin 7 and pin 8. are connected to the Arduino. Now you also notice I've got two push buttons here. This push button is here. It's just in parallel with the other push buttons. This is just a way that during prototyping I could, or during the build I could test it out. I could just push this to cause the servo to throw. You see I also have a push button here, and I have this as a potentiometer. One of the things I thought it would be a good idea to have was the ability to adjust what the maximum throw value for the servo is. If you hold this button down and you press reset, and I'll show you this here in just a second, what will happen is it will move the servo to its mid position, its current mid position. You then push this button again and it'll throw to the min position, and then you can adjust that here. And when you press this button to move it to the max, it writes that new min position into the double EEPROM on the Nano. And then you adjust the max position, you push the button, and that value is now written. And then you reset the device again, and it reads those values on reset from the double EEPROM. Let me just go ahead and show you that. So I'll turn the power supply on. Again, we're at 9 volts. Hook up the power. And the throw on this is currently quite wide, just for demonstration purposes. Let me make sure you can actually see that. Okay, so if I push the button, which is the turnout button, you'll see it throws. So it throws back and forth. If I hold this button down and I press reset, I'll just keep holding this button down until it moves. Okay, so now it's in what is currently the mid position. So if I now push this one time, it throws to the max position or the min position, and you can see that I can, by turning this potentiometer, I can change that. Now I throw this. I'll throw it all the way there, that. Okay, so now I can reset it. And now you can see it's got the new values for the min and the max. So now it's back to what is my original default values, and you can see it's throwing much less. So anyway, that's the new board. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll mount this underneath, and actually it'll mount this way, so this will be the top, and the wires will go out to the dwarfs and to the push buttons. And then you'll have the serial port here available. If I wanted to do some code changes or something, I can actually, it'll be easy to just plug it in place with a laptop and do that. And so let me show you the buttons that I got that I'm going to mount on the fascia. Okay, so these are the push buttons that I bought from off of Amazon. Of course, everything comes from Amazon. I forget, I think it was $7 or $8 for 10 of them. But this will mount on the panel, and then you just push them and turn out throw. So there'll be one on each side. And so now it's just a matter of getting everything mounted and hooking everything up, and hopefully we'll have a working turnout with dwarf signals to indicate position, and I can move on to the next project. So let me go get this installed, and let's take a look at the final result. Okay, I decided to wire it up and just check everything out. I've got the terminal block here. You'll notice that it's magically become a 5 position because I realized I made a mistake. I need 5 volts coming out to the LEDs. And I've got something loose going on here. I'll have to double check that, but you can see right now this is the York station side, this is the York yard side, so right now it indicates that the turnout is thrown to go straight through. What is going on there? Got a loose connection there. And when I push the button, you can see now the York yard side says, yellow for diverging route ahead, and the coming out of the station is now green. So everything's working. I got to figure out what's going on with this red LED on this side, and then we'll get it installed. Okay, we've got it installed for the most part. Still, some temporary aspects to it, but number one is I don't have any fascia here on the station side, so I've just got the button right here in my hand. But you see, if I hold the button and if I press it, I think you can see the points throwing back there, and you can see the signal changing as So let me just show you how I mounted this, and we will wrap this up. Okay, so here it is mounted in the crawl space underneath the stairs. You can see I've got the wires running from the Arduino up to the terminal block, and then from the terminal block off to the push buttons and to the dwarf signals. So still need to do a little wire cleanup here. I got a couple things to straighten out and do a better job on this power connector here. But other than that, I think we're going to call it done and success. So thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate you guys coming along for this multi-part series, and I hope you found it interesting. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you down the rails.